Hello and welcome to Qsports. I'm Umutu Kachaga and thank you for joining us. Coming up, we're talking about the Independence Stadium. Is it ready to host international matches? Is it just a case of where the Gambia is supposed to play Comoros at the Independence Stadium? The match schedule is out. We even know who the referees are, who the match commissioners are. And also, for now, the venue is indicated Independence Stadium, Bakau. But is this a granting of approval for the lifting of the ban of the stadium, where the Gambia would be playing its next game against Comoros on the 15th of November? Or is it just match scheduling and not approval of the stadium? We will bring clarity to this because just 2 days ago when the news broke out, or if you like, on social media, once people see the match scheduling, that the venue is at the Independence Stadium, most of us, including myself, take it for granted that, yes, of course, this is approval. Why would they schedule the match at the stadium when it is not being approved? Well, we'll bring you the details about that. My colleague in the studio, Amadou Tamba, had an exclusive interview with the General Secretary of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Jassy. We'll bring you that. But just before we bring you that interview, we will first go to July 2023, more than a year ago, when a CAF inspection team was in the country, or I would say an individual, Mohamed Sidat. He's head of professional football at CAF. He visited the stadium on the invitation of the Football Federation to come and see work that has been so far and also make some recommendations and if there are adjustments to be done. And he indeed had that recommendations and also made observations about the work going on the stadium. So the pictures that you would be seeing, one, they are not ours. It was a video by GRTS. They're the ones who were at that interview, and we are saying credit to them for the interview. And basically, if you look at the surrounding of the stadium at the time, it was work ongoing. But there are certain things that he made that you would find very interesting. Let's listen to Mohamed Sidat in this interview.
Basically a preliminary inspection, already looking into the to the coming months to have an approval of the stadium. So this is a normal routine for CAF. We check at the invitation of the federation. We come and we do an assessment just to make sure that all the works, all the requirements, all the standards that CAF puts in place through its regulations are met. So today we were able to do a full visit. I think it took us at least 3 hours or 4 hours. So we went on all the sites, all the areas to verify. Of course, there's always comments and remarks, and that's what we have done, and everyone has followed. And the idea is now to prepare a report and to work around that report in order to meet the CAF requirements.
What has been some of the major observations?
So I would say, for example, there were matters in relation to the accessibility of the players, of the media. So we wanted to ensure that all these points were taken care of. And as a basic example, we in modern stadiums today, we need to ensure that players have their own entrance, media have their own entrance to its facilities, VIP their own entrance and exit, so there's no clash of the different spectators also. So this was one of the remarks, and along with the contractors, with the stadium management, we were trying to find alternative solutions, and I think we did so, and this is what we will mention in the report. The other matter, which is key and crucial, is the whole environment around the stadium. We know that there are still works going on, we understand that, but it's important to ensure not only the competition area, the sporting areas, but ensuring the environment around the stadium, the access, the gates, the external perimeter, the walls, all of these areas has to be completed and right to the best standards possible. Today it's not only about the 90 minutes, it's all about also the fan experience. You know, we want the fans, the media, the spectators, everyone, when they come to the stadium, they are safe, they are secure. There is all the access, and you know, we spoke about the electronic turnstile. So there are several points that we've mentioned. We understand that there are certain works still ongoing, but yeah, this was the objective of the mission for CAF to come to do this preliminary assessment and to provide more recommendations.
Like the external perimeter, is that a major obligation before an
Yes,
approval can
yes,
be granted?
definitely. Whatever is outside the external perimeter, it is a major obligation. You would understand that from a safety and security perspective, CAF cannot really approve a stadium that does not guarantee safety from all perspective. As you rightly mentioned, the external perimeter. You know, I give an example. There are some other countries that even the roads, without proper roads leading to the stadium, we don't approve the stadium. So these are things that really need to be taken care of so that the stadium can be approved from all standpoints.
As an expert in this area, are you hopeful that works will be completed in time? I mean, on your next visit?
Well, the ball is always on the side of the local authorities. Obviously, from our side, from CAF, we would really we would be very happy if obviously we have the next window, which is September. It's the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier, the match day 6. And I think it's also crucial for Gambia as for many other nations. So we would be very, very excited and delighted if the stadium could be approved by then. But as I said, we also have certain deadlines, timelines to approve the stadium. So it's all dependent on the works that are remaining to do and all the observations that we made. So it's the ball is on the side of it's basically on your side to complete, and yes, we have to believe from our side that you know, all the works will be completed on time.
When will be the next inspection?
So as a principle, we normally start the assessment of the stadiums at least 2-3 months before the match day. So a circular will be sent already in the coming weeks to all the national associations, including GFF, where we will provide a timeline for all the national associations to send to CAF their preference. So it means that, you know, late, let's say beginning of August, which is just in a couple of weeks, all the venues for the match day 6 must be confirmed, which is at minimum 1 month before the window. So yes, it's a tight timeline, but I have received assurances and guarantees from all the authorities, the ministry, the stadium contractors, the management, GFF, that they are working day and night to meet all of the final work. So let's hope that.
That's Mohamed Sidat, the head of professional football at CAF. He was in the Gambia in July 2023 for an inspection on the invitation of the Gambia Football Federation to come and see work that has been done so far and make recommendations, and that interview was by GRTS. Well, joining me in the studio is my colleague Amadou Tamba. Amadou, you've heard from Mohamed Sidat at the time. A lot has happened since then. A year is a very long time. The stadium looks so beautiful now. You and I have been there recently. We saw the pitch, but it's not only about the pitch. He talks about the entire environment of the stadium. We've seen work being done there. The media center that he talks about is now there, well, according to the people on the ground, fully fixed, fully up to standard as to their own judgment. But when it comes to the Confederation of African Football, just before we get into what is happening right now, let's look back in the past.
Well, thank you very much, Ngajega. A very good morning to all the viewers. It's a pleasure to be back again. I think he has stated categorically clear as to what the stadium needs to get before it fits the standard and the requirement from CAF to be approved to host international matches. He talked about the normal routine that the federation needs to do to invite CAF to come and do an inspection of the stadium. But importantly, he made mention of 2-3 very, very vital issues. One is the accessibility of the stadium. The players, the media, the VIP, the fans. I think all these people got very, very important roles to play. And I think roads or the gates leading to stadiums and going out, it's quite different. And everybody needs to get a very good access to get to where you're supposed to sit and do your job, because the fans are absolutely doing a good job in supporting the team. The media is also there to disseminate the information to people back home who are not watching. And also the VIP, the important stakeholders as well. And then he talked about the perimeter fence. I was very much impressed where he said the game is just not the 90 minutes. It's beyond the 90 minutes and beyond the pitch itself. So it's absolutely very key. And he talks about the perimeter fence that is, of course, outside the stadium itself. Safety is something very much fundamental here. And CAF is really not joking with that. And from the date of this interview to of recent, as I said, I think there has been massive improvements at the stadium. And as you said, the ground, that is of course the pitch, looks absolutely very good, different from where it was before. Looking at the sitting arrangements as well, the media tribune as well, the commentary cabins and the like. So I think all those areas have been massively renovated and improved to a very high quality. And now I think we are absolutely very much in line with what CAF have been looking forward to before they approve a stadium to host international matches. So I think if CAF is to get back to Banjul again, they will see a very wonderful job being done by the Gambia government through the Ministry of Youth and Sports together with the Gambia Football Federation. But yeah, the Gambia is ready. We might, looking at what he said and where we are right now, we might not be 100% or so, but I think we are up there to meet the criteria of hosting international matches and CAF approving our stadium to get it going.
We hope so. That's the case. But of recent, just 2 days ago, big breaking news on social media first, where journalists like myself ran with it. Well, I don't know if later, if otherwise, I'll be doing a corrigento or a kind of a rejoinder of what I initially wrote that about the approval. Yes, it's about the Gambia's game against Comoros. It's a home game for the Gambia, but of recent, we all know we've been playing matches in Morocco. Home away from home, you know, we played against Madagascar, we played against Tunisia there, we played against a whole lot of matches, even against Seychelles was played in Morocco. So Morocco recently has been home away from home. But this particular match, that's the next window game on the 15th of November is the match schedule date where the Gambia will play against Comoros. It should be a home match. With the granting of approval, if you like partial approval, we understand that videos have been sent to CAF as of what the stadium looks like at the moment, from the pitch, every part of the stadium, all that is required in terms of that renovation work, the adjustments that Mohamed Sidat talked about earlier on as you watched the interview, have all been adjusted according to the authorities on the ground. And CAF would review those videos, but we also understand that they would be either on the ground physically. Also, maybe the videos could suffice. We don't know that part of it. But when it comes to the confusion, why would the Confederation of African Football release a match schedule where it states venue, Independence Stadium, Bakau? So the teams involved is, of course, host Gambia and Comoros. So that's scheduling, and then you have the referees, you have the match commissioners. One would look at that and say, yes, of course, because the game is going to be played at the stadium, there is no doubt that the stadium has been approved. Well, that is not the case if you talk to the General Secretary of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Jasseh, who had an exclusive interview with Amadou Tamba. Let's listen to Lamin Jasseh.
It remains unapproved. The status of the stadium remains unchanged as far as CAF is concerned. Now, what led to the misinformation is that a communique from CAF got leaked on social media, and then people don't actually understand what that communique is, which is that it's a schedule. So every international match, CAF will produce a schedule. This schedule contains the names of referees, match commissioners, the venue of the match, time of the match, date of the match. So basically that is the information that particular schedule carried. Now, the venue of the match on that schedule is stated as Independence Stadium. And then people saw that and then, thought that, yes, CAF has approved. To tell you the truth, in fact, the department that sent that information is not even the department that is responsible of approving or disapproving stadiums. Now, one may also ask the question, but why would CAF schedule a match at a stadium that is not approved? The answer is very simple. So before every international match, if you are the host, the regulation is that CAF will have to write to you and ask you about, to state your venue where you want to play the match, the date, and the time. So the Gambia Football Federation stated that we are going to play Gambia versus Comoros at the Independence Stadium. The reason being because we have determined and made judgment that the significant work that has been done at the Independence Stadium, the massive improvement, it may be likely that CAF, after inspection, that may be physical inspection or maybe through analyzing of images, photos, videos, because we had to send all of that, they may approve the stadium. That is why we stated that. And then CAF then actually on the schedule put Independence Stadium. The reason why I'm emphasizing this point, because yesterday I also was following the matter online, and I see a lot of people saying, oh, GFF, trying to downplay what we are telling them, but not knowing that CAF doesn't communicate to anybody. It doesn't communicate to government or any third party. They communicate to GFF. So the account of GFF is the most, authentic one.
You, of course, spoke to CAF, and when the renovation work was going on at the Independence Stadium, absolutely a very good work done there. Images and videos sent to the Confederation of African Football. And an inspection team is expected to come and inspect before giving us the final word that the Gambia Independence Stadium meets the criteria to be admitted to stadiums that can host international matches. When do we expect this inspection team in Banjul? Because we're playing Comoros on the 15th of November.
Thank you very much. Very important question. I think this is the issue now, is what people need to focus on. The issue of whether the stadium is approved or not approved is now history, because we made it categorically clear it remained unapproved. However, there is high hope. Now, the question is, when do you expect the inspectors in the Gambia? Last night, I actually communicated to CAF. I sent a letter, because even for the inspection, the Football Federation will have to request it. They will not just turn up. The Football Federation will have to request it for the inspectors to come, which had been done last night. We couldn't even wait for this morning. That's the urgency. That's how GFF is putting premium on this issue. And this morning, I can categorically state, I had to call my colleagues at CAF, and then just to ensure whether they have received, and I can happily state that they received our letter, and then that they are working on getting a team over to the Gambia. The date of which is not yet confirmed, but we are hopeful, we are very hopeful, in the coming days, maybe in the next 72 hours, we will hear something, a formal letter, because we wrote to them, so they will have to communicate back to us formally in a letter form, or probably in an email form, to state to us that so and so and so have been identified to come and inspect the Independence Stadium. And it will now be the responsibility for us to get those inspectors here. Now, once the inspection is done, they will have to send their report back to the professional football department, and then, of course, they will determine whether the stadium get approved or not, the inspectors. However, the report report would have to come from the professional football department, who will now communicate to us to say, they will write to the Football Federation, to the General Secretary to say that we hope that the communication come through like that. Congratulations, the stadium of the Independence Stadium at Bakau has been approved for CAF and FIFA A matches.
With little over 20 days or more than 20 days to go before we play Comoros, do you think all these activities can fit in within this time frame for us to get a confirmation from the Confederation of African Football whether the stadium does meet the criteria to host international matches and it's been approved or not?
I'm very hopeful, because we are also not leaving this thing in the hands of CAF like that. We have emphasized the urgency of it. We already, they are following, it's a global village, they are following what is happening in the Gambia for people to know. So all the things that people are writing on social media, they've seen everything, they read everything, you understand? So they know the eagerness of the Gambian fans. And you know, no one is saying that people, yes, if the federation want to come and play here, we are losing money. If we play here, people are going to pay for the ticket. So nobody is, there's no interest for anyone to go and play outside of this country. So I can tell you that, you know, from all indication, from our communication with them and all of that, this can be achieved before our match, because the match is already scheduled here. So, you know, it's just a question of now the inspectors coming and confirming that what we send to them through the portal, the videos and pictures, are the real stuff in here. You know, once they confirm that, then it is their judgment. They will make a decision to say, yes, we are satisfied with what we saw, or, you know, and that we feel that an international A match can be played. And once that is communicated, that's it. We just need a letter from them, and then, you know, we will continue on our preparation. So as it is now, we will still assume that the match is going to take place in the Gambia, pending that report. So that report will determine whether we'll play here or we'll play another country. Because that is the situation. That is the facts. Or those are the facts. You know, as we speak right now, the stadium remains unapproved. Our matches are scheduled here, just to summarize, because we asked for it. Our match is scheduled here because we have made so much progress and we had sent a lot of information to them. In their own judgment, they feel that, having requested our match to be here and then seeing what they show, you know, they put it there. But they put a caveat to it by sending us a communique to say, yes, we put your match at Independence Stadium, but it is subjected. CAF was very clear to approval. They sent another correspondent to say your stadium remain unapproved until an inspection. So more specific, until an inspection is carried out. And the outcome of that inspection will determine whether you play in Banjul or not.
But what do you make of the opinion that the Gambian Football Federation does not want us to play a home matches in Banjul as of now, because the Federation wants us to still keep on playing in Morocco because of the per diem that the Federation officials get whenever we play in Morocco?
Is ridiculous. In fact, they don't get per diems. Nobody get per diem when you play in Morocco. It's basically an enhancement allowance, because when they go there, they live in a hotel. They don't stay, they don't sleep on the street. And you cannot send staff to go and, of course, national team travels, whether we host or we are host, the national team travels. And then obviously they have to be paid allowances. The ones that go and do the general organization are staff of the Football Federation. Most of them is a director, a person from the competitions department, security, protocol. So people that have a role to play. You know, the same group of people or departments would have been engaged or would have been responsible if that the match was going to take place here. Because also these are regulations. Now, if the match commissioner comes at the airport and there's no one to receive him, the GFF will be fine. If the referees come at the airport, the GFF will be fine. If the MCM, they call match coordinating meeting, if that is the MCM, if that doesn't take place and we are responsible for that, the federation is going to be fine. If we are not there to receive the visiting team, you know, for example, in the case, you know, we played Madagascar. We have to be at the airport to receive Madagascar. It is our responsibility to provide a bus for them, a small car for them. It is our responsibility to ensure that, you know, their hotel, they are secured, they are comfortable in Morocco because they are hosts. These are the regulations. People just need to, you know, you shouldn't talk about something that you don't understand. Before you go there and make wild allegation and all of that, go and read the regulation. You go to CAF website, you will see tournament regulation, AFCON qualifiers, and you will see all of these things there. So GFF is the regulation that we are following, because if we don't do that, we'll be fine. And then this eagerness for us to go to the third AFCON would have been derailed if these things don't happen. So like I said at the beginning, it's not in anyone's interest. It's costing the GFF. And then when the team, like our team that goes to Morocco, they don't get paid by the government. They get paid by the Gambia Football Federation. Let that be clear.
Yes, they get paid by the Gambia Football Federation and not the Gambia government. Yes, very interesting comments there from the General Secretary of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Jassy. And talking about the stadium, I think now we've had whether the breaking news that the stadium is approved. The match is going to be hosted at the Independence Stadium between Comoros and the Gambia. It's certainly clear there, at least from the Gambia Football Federation, that it is subject to approval still, but the match has been scheduled already. But also, there would be inspection, whether that inspection is going to be physical inspection, CAF would send a team to come in here, or they would be okay with the videos that have been sent. But definitely massive work, massive improvement have been done. But we are not the experts. We wish, you know, stadium is approved 100%. The game between the Gambia and Comoros for Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco 2025, the qualifiers match will be played at the Independence Stadium. But Amadou, you and Lamin Jassy had the interview, and then, you know, you look at some of the things that he've talked about. Everyone in the media, supporters as well, have been carried away with the match scheduling. So a little bit confusion there in terms of scheduling the match at a venue which is subject to approval. That is what I have an issue with. But he said it's standard procedure for CAF, because for them at GFF, they're the ones who would say, yes, this is our home game. We want to play the match at this venue. So they've made that. That's the reason why they would settle the match here. But still, that ban of the stadium continues until if it is inspected and then approved.
Yeah, I think he has made some interesting revelations there. Let me start from where he started. I think it's right that whenever an international game comes up, like in the qualifiers that we're in, we have been playing in Morocco, so our next game, which is a home game for the Gambia, CAF will not just get up one day and schedule Gambia to say, okay, you're playing in Morocco because you've been playing all your games in Morocco because the stadium does not meet the standard criteria. Or they will just not just get up and say, okay, Gambia, you've been playing in Morocco, but your stadium has been going under massive renovation, so now you have to play in Banjul. No, they have to ask the football authorities, where would you want to play your home games? Now it's down to the GFF to tell them that, look, yeah, we know that our stadium is going under renovation, but it's not yet ready. We are going to play in Morocco. Or they look at what work has been done at the Independence Stadium to say, CAF, look, we believe that there has been massive renovations going on, and where we are right now, we think it's okay for us to play our home games in Banjul. So they will tell CAF that, look, we want to play our home game in the Gambia. But that does not give automatic approval that, yes, the stadium is approved now, the Gambia has to play. If we tell that to CAF when they are settling, they will indicate that, yes, Gambia Comoros, which is a home game for the Gambia, will be played at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. But we all know that the Independence Stadium has been going on a renovation, and that renovation need not to, for us not to see good pictures at the stadium and say, oh wow, now it's okay, we are playing at home. No, it's down to CAF again to come and inspect the job that we have done. You had from the interview that you played earlier on, what criteria he put in place that the stadium needs to meet before it's been approved by CAF. Now that the government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Gambia Football Federation, have done such a job at the Independence Stadium, they have to send a communique, like I said, the videos and the pictures to CAF to tell them that, look, we have done a very good job at our stadium. Now we deemed it fitting that it can host international matches. So come on, come into Banjul and inspect the stadium and tell us the stage where we are, whether it will be approved or not. And that is how it should be done. The match settling has absolutely nothing to do with us playing at home, because it might be settled at the Independence Stadium, and if CAF comes and inspect and it does not meet the standard criteria, God forbid, they will tell us that Gambia, your game cannot be played at the Independence Stadium in Banjul. So meaning we have to go back to playing away from home, and away from home is absolutely going to be in Morocco. And then I think people also need to understand one thing. What I realize in this whole issue is the confirmation of the approval of the Independence Stadium is not coming out from anybody other than the Gambia Football Federation. Yes, us as journalists can get first-hand information from somewhere and can break the news first. But only relying on the settling calendar of where we have the referees, the game Gambia Comoros at the Independence Stadium, we have the match commissioner and conclude that
I'll still jump in here. I still have a problem with this settling issue. Yes, if that's the standard procedure, that's standard procedure.
Yeah.
But okay, we all see in international matches, whether it's in Europe, whether it's FIFA match or CAF match, when it says the venue is this stadium, unless something extraordinary happens. Let's say before kickoff, something happened, there's a bomb threat somewhere, security concerns, things like that, game cancelled. Sometimes it could be due to weather. If there is extreme rain, torrential rain to a point that the stadium is flooded, then it's not playable. The match would be cancelled, maybe settled on another date. Or in a situation where, because of extreme weather, sometimes, you know, in places where it is extremely cold, yes, you have the whole pitch covered with snow up to a certain degree, and they realize that it's not playable, then the match is cancelled, and then, you know, that is due to weather. I know it's a different case, but where you settle the game, yes, this is a stadium that has not been approved for the last 3 years or so. The last time the Gambia played at the stadium for an international game, a competitive match, was on the 25th of March 2021, when we played our final game in our first AFCON qualification against Angola and then won 1-0. That was the last time we played there. So why settle the fixture there if this stadium is still under suspension, ban, or whatever you call it, and then, you know, it still has to be inspected and later grant approval or not?
Yeah,
I have a problem with that.
You got to understand that the contexts are different. Games settle at grounds and go ahead to play there. Like, for instance, if you go to England, the Premier League or so, any game that is settled at any of the grounds, whether in Manchester, Liverpool or so, it is absolutely going to be played there because the stadium does meet every criteria in place.
Sure.
Now, in the context of the Gambia here, we only have one main stadium, that is the Independence Stadium. And we all know that the stadium has been under massive renovation, that we want to get to the standard that CAF is requiring from any member association to host its international matches at home. We played against Madagascar in our last game. That was an away game for the Gambia. Now, this game is a home game for the Gambia. We've been playing away matches since the qualifier started. Now, our stadium has been going under renovation for quite a long time. And as we speak right now, the videos and pictures coming out from that Independence Stadium is absolutely very encouraging and very beautiful. Everyone will expect that, yeah, the work that we have been looking forward to has absolutely been done at the Independence Stadium. And now, if CAF have to ask the Gambia, where are you going to play your home game? Because we're playing Comoros. That is a home game for the Gambia. They will absolutely ask us where we're going to play. And it is absolutely common sense that the GFF will definitely pick the Independence Stadium because they've seen the work that has been done. And they're in consultation with the government, who are absolutely behind funding everything that is happening at the Independence Stadium. So they will understand that we've seen a very good work done at the Independence Stadium. And every Gambian want us to return back to playing at the Independence Stadium. So if the first port of call is the Independence Stadium, whether it meets the standard criteria or not, is the Independence Stadium. And then CAF will come in. Now you've told CAF that you want to play at home. Then CAF will now come in. Whether they will look at the videos that you've sent to them and the pictures to screen and look at everything and say, okay, Now we are satisfied with the work that you've done in Banjul. Your stadium is approved. You can go ahead to play the game between Gambia and Comoros in Banjul. Or they will say, okay, the Gambia, you've told us that you're going to play your home game against Comoros at the Independence Stadium in Banjul. That has been under renovation for quite a while now. Okay, we are sending our team to come to Banjul and inspect the stadium, whether it does meet the standard criteria that we are looking for. And once it is approved, once CAF comes in and approved it, then we good to go. Then that stands. The settling of we playing at the Independence Stadium stands. But God forbid, if CAF is to come in or they look at the pictures and say, look, Gambia, what we've been looking for in terms of stadiums meeting the standard criteria, A, B, or C, does not tick the right box, and we don't think you play at home, then they will tell the federation, look for plan B. You cannot play in Banjul, then look for plan B. And plan B is automatically Morocco. That takes me to the question that people are of the opinion that the federation wants us to play in Morocco, not in Banjul, for the per diems that the federation officials, whosoever travels with the team, gets whenever we are playing away. And that's what the General Secretary was out there responding to. So I think...
It was completely dispelled that kind of perception.
Yeah, but
sort of, but it's an opinion that is shared by some people on social media. Of course.
We have the right to ask them questions to respond, and it's absolutely very good that he has responded there. Look, I think there was miscommunication. I will not even say miscommunication because everybody wants, with regards to the Independence Stadium, everybody wants to be the first to break the news that we are back to playing at the Independence Stadium. And Gambians can't just wait to get this team playing in front of them at the Independence Stadium again. It has been nearly 4 years since we last qualified to the AFCON, that 25th March goal and Asan Cisse scoring, and we were able to qualify to the AFCON. Up till date, Gambians have never gotten the opportunity to watch their national team play live. So this is an opportunity that every Gambian don't want to miss. But let's hope that CAF will come in and say, Gambia, your stadium is okay, and now you can play against Comoros in Banjul. I just can't wait for that day.
We can't wait. And what I'm going to do now, we will go on a short commercial break. And when we return, the controversy is going to be the procedure used to approve stadium. Yes, I know, of course, for us before this remodeling, if you like, renovation work at the stadium, yes, the stadium have been far below standard in terms of certain things. Yes, there was a media tribune, but basically it was just like a place where if even fans can go and, you know, sit down and then watch the game and even support their team. In some matches, we've seen that sometimes when the media cannot fill in the entire area, some people will be allowed to come in there and then they support their team. They sometimes insult the referee and all of that. So all those things were happening. But now there's a specific zone, a specific area meant for media. There's a media center, there's a press conference room. There are all those facilities now. So hopefully with that improvement. But there are stadium or stadia which are approved. We will be talking about that after this break.
Introducing the all-new Q Mobile. Rediscover the essence of mobile communication with a device that brings you back to basics: quality, simplicity, and reliability. The Q Mobile is designed to fit seamlessly into your life, offering essential features without the fuss. 72-hour battery life, keeping you connected longer. Listen to news, prayers, or your favorite shows with the FM radio on Q Phone. A built-in torchlight, always ready when you need it, memory card slot for expandable storage, and dual SIM capability for flexibility and convenience. Why wait? Step into any of our care centers today and get your hands on the most affordable phone for just $600. Plus, enjoy a bonus package of 300 minutes talk time and 300 SMS spread over 3 months. Absolutely free. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, senior boss. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply. Introducing the Q Smart and Q Smart Plus, where innovation meets affordability. Capture life's precious moments with stunning clarity thanks to our high-resolution cameras. Enjoy uninterrupted performance with a fast processor and a long-lasting battery that keeps up with your day. The Qsmart offers a 5.9-inch immersive display, powerful performance, and an all-day battery life, all for just $3,400. Plus get an incredible bundle of 15 gigabytes of data, 120 minutes of talk time, and 300 SMS absolutely free. Upgrade to the Qsmart Plus featuring a faster processor and extended battery life and a larger 6.5-inch screen for just $4,000. With it, you receive a massive 30 gigabytes of data, 300 SMS, and 120 minutes of talk time completely free. All bundles are spread across a 3-month period. Don't miss out. Get your Qsmart or Qsmart Plus from Qcell today. Discover the best in quality and value right here in the Gambia. Available at all Qcell customer care centers across the country. For more information, call 111. Qcell's the new boss. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us. This is Qsports and I'm Udu Kachaga. We're talking about the Independence Stadium, whether it's granted approval or not. Well, according to the General Secretary of the Gambia Football Federation, it is only the match that has been scheduled to take place at the Independence Stadium, but not actually the stadium's ban being partially lifted or provisionally lifted, or whether the match is going to be scheduled there. That's not in their hands. That's in the hands of the Confederation of African Football, the continental football governing body, because they're the ones who banned the stadium from hosting international matches for failing to meet certain requirements. A lot of work has been done over the past year or so in terms of changing the face of that, improving certain facilities and all of that. So, but the match has been scheduled to take place there. That is Gambia, Comoros, on the 15th of November 2024. Let's wait and see if the CAF inspection team is in the country to see whether approval or otherwise. But just to talk about this stadium approval, well, when you talk about stadia, many of them, there is this stadium in Guinea-Bissau, the national stadium, the 24th September stadium. I watched Guinea-Bissau's last game against Mali. I look at that stadium. It's on television, of course. I am not there physically. But I'm like, okay, how did it get approval to host international matches? With all due respect, the Babayaro Stadium in Ghana, well before it was banned, eventually, of course, but Ghana played there previously. They played there against Niger. And, of course, their last game against Sudan, that match was played. It was a home game for Sudan. But even that stadium also, when you look at it, that was synthetic turf. The Ghanaian players, in fact, some of them, because they were defeated 2-0, they complained about, the pitch, and some Ghanaian football fans were like, you need to shut up because you both played on the same pitch. It's not like as if you are the only team that played on the pitch. Yeah, so come on, you watch some of these stadium, you watch matches there, of course, and then you look at the general environment, you look at the pitch. Yes, I know it's just beyond a beautiful pitch. There are a whole lot of things. Yeah, but you're like, okay, if they get approved, why not us?
Yeah, you're right. Looking at some of the stadiums that hosted even the recent AFCON qualifiers, you'll be surprised as to how those stadiums got approved by CAF, and other stadiums still does not meet the criteria to be approved. Some stadiums, like the Guinea-Bissau one that you mentioned, I think it's difficult for you to comprehend that that stadium.
It's more or less like ours, the structure. If you look at it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the Ghanaian national team played their last game at the Accra Sports Stadium. I was there during the African Games. I think back then it wasn't in the very good states, because even I met some Ghanaians who were absolutely complaining that that stadium was abandoned. But it hosted the African Games, and from there, when they realized that CAF has banned the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, they decided to renovate quickly the Accra Sports Stadium, and absolutely they were able to play. Now, that is why I said, for me, let me state this clearly. For me, I will be very surprised if CAF doesn't approve the Independence Stadium. because looking at the playing surface is absolutely very good. You look at the pavilions, it's really good. You talked about the media tribune here before. When you go to the Independence Stadium before, you will absolutely not know where the media tribune is. And then if the VIP and so is filled up, fans comes to the media tribune. And that is where I found it very, very difficult, because sometimes fans are so passionate, the games will get to a level, they will just get up and start insulting and start shouting. And at the end of the day, people who don't know will be like, it's journalists who are supporting, it's journalists who are shouting and stuff. And that's not the case. So there needs to be that difference and that separation. And before also, we had the dressing room at the other end, which was really some crazy stuff at times when we have these international matches, and after the game you need to get to the mix zone to get the players interviews and stuff. So it's always very difficult back then. But now what I've seen at the Independence Stadium, I will be very surprised that CAF comes to say your stadium is not approved because A, B and C is not right. For me, I am very hopeful that we will play Comoros in Banjul come November, but still, that is depending on the approval from CAF, because some of the other stadiums that get the approval from the Confederation of African Football are absolutely not in the best of states, better than the stadium that we have here. At the moment, our stadium absolutely does look good, and we just can't wait for CAF to approve it to get back to playing at home.
If you look at the job done so far, from the outside, I can see, okay, when Mohamed Sidat was doing his assessment, he talks about having different access areas. The media would have their own gate, and then, that's the entrance gate to the stadium. And also you'd have the VIP. Now you could see it clearly spelled out. In fact, there is another perimeter, this time it's wired fence, just outside the main structure of the stadium, where all these places are separated. So you have an area where, if the teams come with their buses, where they would come into the stadium, you have team A, team B. Their buses can even park at a particular point where they would be the only ones to access that particular area. So when it comes to the fans, there is a particular gate, several of them, where they would access inside the stadium. And all these places are named, whether it's gate B, gate C, or whatever that they decided to name it. So all those have been improvements. And when it comes to the area of media, which is like no joke when it comes to match coverages at international level. So that one also, we've seen massive improvement, especially those who work in the print could come with their laptops and things like that. They could have an extension where they would connect their devices if you're using a laptop also. So for commentators also, they have a designated place where they will be able to. After matches also, there's a massive area, wide room, where press conferences can be held with the coaches and also the players as well. So one thing that I've not seen that much, it's like where the media area is. After matches, if you want to go to the mixed zone, you have to get onto the pitch, the main ball of the stadium, and walk all the way down where, the player, because the dressing room is far from where the media tribune or the media access area is. And usually, it's the security who tells you that, we are told that nobody should pass here, and then you have to obey that, or maybe you engage in a fight, which is very uncivilized. You cannot do that. So a lot of improvement. Let's hope for November 15th.
Yeah, I think before, when Abbas came for that force inspection, I said this earlier on. I think Sidat, sorry. When he came for the force inspection, I think he must have identified what the stadium needs to get before it fits the standard requirement from CAF. And the Gambia, who were renovating the stadium at the time, would have had a plan and worked towards achieving that plan. Yeah. So that is why I said I would be very surprised if CAF don't approve it now. Because he talked about the perimeter fence, he talks about the gates, fans, VIP, the media, and other important aspects as well. So I think he after the interview or well before the interview even, he might have engaged those who were doing the work there to tell them that, look, this and this and this is what you need to do for the stadium to meet the requirement from CAF. And I believe that has absolutely been done. Now you made mention of something very important, which has always been a problem here in the Gambia between the media and the security personnel. Look, in as much as we have the dressing room very far, anyone with a tag, they should understand that no journalist will get to the stadium without a tag. Once you have a tag, they should identify and create a means for you to get to the area where you want to get to conduct the interviews. Because normally, in all the stadiums that I've been to in Africa and other parts, the VIP and where the journalist sits to watch matches, immediately after the game, you just get down and you have the VIP area, the mixed zone area around that end. You need not to cross to the other end. If we are found in such a scenario, the security personnel who are absolutely going to be on duty in any of the match days have to understand that these people are here to do a job and this is the route that they need to take to get to where they want to get to. And absolutely, it will be very much easy. But if that's not the case, it will still go back to the same problem. And I hope that we will not encounter that problem, because we all have been yearning for quite a long time to return to the Independence Stadium and absolutely watch the national team play at home. So let's hope and fingers crossed that CAF will come to Banjul or analyze the videos and pictures that the Federation and Gambians have sent to them. And they feel okay that the stadium now fits the requirement and we can go on to play Comoros and Banjul. But really, thumbs up to the government and the Federation for doing a very good job. But yet still, this stadium is renovated and looking good. But the fact of the matter is, we need a new stadium as well.
Yeah, so we'll wait to look forward to that. Well, we're talking about the stadium as if that's the only thing we have on the table. Just finally, let's talk about cricket. The Gambia cricket team is in Kenya, where they were competing in the qualifiers of the T20 African qualifiers for the Cricket World Cup. But cricket is not that much strong in the country. When they arrived, their travel was delayed. Aside from that, they got beaten in all their 3 matches and they lost 2 matches prior to even batting a ball. The Gambia team effectively lost 2 matches without batting a single ball against Rwanda and Seychelles. The team were due in Kenya, host country for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Sub-Regional African Qualifiers, ahead of the start of the group games. Mbai Doumbia, the team's coach, explains.
We have a miscommunication with the tournament organizers, and it was an administrative issue, and we didn't know that we have to get the ETA before travel. And when we went to the airport, at the time we know that the ETA is a must. We should have got it before. And when we went to the airport, by the time we get the ETA, the boarding time was already up. And unfortunately, only 2 or 3 of our players were able to make it on that flight. Now, on the other day also, we went to against the airport, and unfortunately, the flight was full. So we only put board 4 of our players, making it 6 already in Kenya, and the other 9 were behind. So unfortunately, we traveled from Gambia to Dakar by road, and then take a flight to Senegal to Kenya here.
Despite the frustration of their travel, the players are focused on their remaining matches against host Kenya, Zimbabwe and Mozambique. The format of the competition will see the top 2 teams from these qualifiers advance to the regional final, creating an opportunity to reach the global stage. Basiru J shared their excitement knowing that they will eventually compete.
Regardless of the struggle we're having, we have put everything behind, because we really wanted to participate, represent our country, put our, flag, to the higher heights. That's why even the encounter we had at the airport, we missed our flight due to documentation, so it didn't stop us from there.
The qualifiers are an opportunity for Gambian cricket players to get international exposure at the continental level. Even though cricket is not at a high level of competition in the country, a good showing in this tournament could improve the standards of the players and inspire others. Mamudu Gajaga. And that's it on Q Sports. Thank you very much. Join us next week at the same time. Have a pleasant day. Bye.